Prior to Hurricane Katrina, the emphasis for FEMA was really based upon emergency response. A lot of funding was decreased regarding mitigation to both states and local governments. Um, when Hurricane Katrina hit, there were a multitude of forces going on. One, locally, the mayor didn't believe that the extent of the hurricane was going to be as devastating as it was. So, emergency plans weren't instituted early enough. Secondly, because of the lack of overall incident command and the emergency operations center not being opened up quickly enough, several components were actually not implemented, like buses that could evacuate non or ambulatory elderly citizens, for example. Um, when Katrina hit, then the governor, thinking that if he instituted a disaster declaration wrongly, that the National Guard would be federalized by the government, a sort of martial law, if you will. Now, I'm not saying that that shouldn't have been done. I think that some form of martial law probably should have been instituted not too long after Katrina hit, because there was a disassociation between incident command at the local level, at the state level, and by the time the federal government was declared a disaster, large components of FEMA that were actually pre-positioned were not deployed very well. Of course, finger pointing went on between the local mayor, the governor, and at the federal level. And the Department of Homeland Security Chief Brown didn't do himself or the government any good by having a passive communication approach to the entire situation. And as we know now, there was a complete disconnect between how FEMA operated on the emergency response side, the lack of mitigation on the preparedness side, both at the local and state levels as well. I believe that some of these situations are with the polarization of the current Congress will actually continue on into the future, because is a lack of really a constitution within people to really take the steps in order to be prepared. We still have a situation where people think that because they built houses on the ocean, that they should be, and they were demolished, they shouldn't be rebuilt, and that if people are stupid enough to build houses on the ocean where a hurricane can hit, well, that's their problem, not ours. Unfortunately, that's the wrong attitude and the wrong community building mitigation program that should go on. For instance, the water levels, because of the ice polar caps melting, has increased. One area is Norfolk, Virginia, where they're rebuilding all of the piers where the Navy has all of their ships. The water rise has been substantial. And so you're going to see the same thing occur in major cities like New York, as well as New Jersey, and all the way up the coast, where the water levels increasing and rising. They're talking about 10 to 12 feet in the next 25 years. You're going to have to build some sort of dam or break walls or things of that nature in order to protect the cities as they now stand. And I suppose that somewhere beachfront will be lost, as well as some of the low-lying areas might have to be moved. Only time will tell. But the fact of the matter is the water is rising. And so when you look at that, you look at New Orleans, that's below water level, sea level, and the large scale storms that we are now seeing, a true discussion and an honest discussion about how cities are going to weather the storm, if you will, and plan and build. The cost of doing so is going to be tremendous, and it has to be a local, state, and federal funding formula in order to make this all work. Be that as it may, I believe that we still have a ways to go, as the post 9/11 Homeland Security Department is based upon security to terrorism, and that a large section of the FEMA mitigation, planning, preparation, and response mechanisms have been put into a second position. The lessons haven't been learned from Katrina, although we are looking at more and more, mitigation issues. But if you take a look at what happened in New Jersey as well when Hurricane Sandy came through, and several New York hospitals were hit hard, we still have a lot of lessons to be learned. Thank you.